Investigation Department, who said they asked CDI attorneys for report yesterday, 11 o'clock, for go clarify things them wouldn't say it make for sake of incitement during the Radio Democracy Good Morning Salon program day. Well, on the line now, we get the National Secretary General for the APC party, when Ambassador Usman Fode Yansani. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Yeah, good morning, 98.1.
All right, you can first start for clarify if the acting publicity secretary of una party, CDI attorney, still in a police custody na the CID?
CDI attorney still there na police custody na the CID na Freetown.
All right, yesterday it been go answer to an invitation where the police been sent to for go make clarification them. And you as the party secretary general, now one party post people that will be accompanying them. You can first start for give listeners them an overview of what exactly be happened yesterday na the criminal investigation department before CDI attorneys then be detained them.
Well, the day before yesterday, I get a call from the head of the CID, RPG. He say he want like attorneys na CID. I say, what you do? He say he been talking on radio 98.1 and he make inciting statements. Now so I say, okay, I say I go make sure a report na CID. In the morning, by 11 o'clock, together with the lawyers, CDI attorneys report na CID. Done, the head of CID say, let them take statement from him. The statement take a long time, repeated questions of whether the remove we say, then they remove this government now through what means? They re-emphasize that. They say through legal means, through lawful means. They make that clear throughout the interview and the interrogation. At the end of the day, I will say what will happen next. Say, well, then we read and ask for opinion. So we did na CID day. That's why there is some scuffle downstairs. Say they don't hold them, then the care and go na cell. So, but the senior officers have not been there. The director of crimes not there. The head of CID have not there. I look for some senior members then, I'm not able to see. But now I say, we not allow and let them care and go. Then care and go to the cell. And we did it na net because we make some engagement with the government. I talked to the VP, who is the head of the police. I go to the IG office. He was not there. And I asked for the deputy IG because the senior man then say, unless they get directive from above, they're not going to grant and bail. So we did it in a net. He was still in cells. Now we come out there.
Ambassador, you say una be make some engagement yesterday with government, and one party people where you say una be engaged, na be the vice president, where na the head of the police council. You say you talk to them. Where you been talk to them concerning this issue, where gets for do with CDI attorneys in detention. What na be the response of the vice president?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the response from the vice president was that indeed he don't discuss the issue with the IG, but that himself not get the recording, this 98.1 recording, so he cannot give any, he don't make any comment until the hearing, and the person will get the recording, they don't send for that. Now, as I say, can I offer you, forward the recording to you? Indeed, I did, and they acknowledged receipt. So, I've been expecting they will call me back for tell me, say, this is what we will do. But as I talk to you now, I'm on my way to the CID for the next progressive step for ensure that he is released on bail to us.
This action of the police for invite on a acting publicity secretary for make clarification on certain things the way they say it talk na Radio Democracy Good Morning Salon program and later they be detain am and e sleep na CID. Una as a party wey na one pan the opposition party them, how una describe this action of the police?
I think say the action is high-handed. The action is high-handed. The police now one of the institutions that we don't create several minuses for this government. And I think therefore rein them in. You hear what this man say, you know, go through investigations. The investigation starts when the man is in the prison. Where you discover, say, the man not wrong, then you release him without any compensation, without even a word of, we are sorry. This has happened to many of our senior officers. You've been invited, you are invited, you are detained for several days. At the end of it, you go out. And this, you know, they create within the UN they expect from we, within the partners and they expect from we for constructive engagement with the government. Yesterday we were at the UN when they say last and Syria and I informed them that
movement. Now you on platform, now me on platform, everybody on platform. You don't view we a lot, you dey share a lot, but you don't forget to subscribe. We are to touch that notification button. This red one we see so. Then you say will be part of the program. Whenever we do live, you will also get a notification. Do ya subscribe to me? Do ya subscribe to me? And don't forget to subscribe. This is not a program. This is not a green movement. TGM TV. Where we do to give the good info for you, for me, your brother and sister from our side. Me na una baba Dima. Yesterday. We are touch that red button.
Permanent Secretary na the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Augustine Sashekus, don't say the 2022 Finance Act no go work for business people before Parliament pass the law. And today inside the program, Radio Democracy go talk to the press secretary na status, Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy. We go talk about the AU then decision for make President Bio chair for the APRM.
Well, this and other stories them they inside the program for you, plus one Leon star player, Kai Kamara don't condemn the SLFA the action for ask player them for return the Umbro suitcase. Members say they listen to we live on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Usiwa and powered by AfriCell. And safe they listen from Radio Shalom 89.5 na Kwanadugu and Falaba district. Same way so on Radio Malen 88.5 and Radio 1G 11.3. Voice of Masuru 90.5 all from Pujaun district. Radio Kolente 90.5 na Cambia, Radio Mwa 105.5 na Kalaon, Voice of Carolina na Kamakuyo 98.0, Vopad Radio 96.5 FM na Waterloo, and Voice of Sando 95.7 FM from Kono District. The program na Good Morning Saloon can be part of them by way you can send text message to the number 0779819811. 0779819811, the number for sending text message and be part of the program, or go on our Facebook page and drop a comment on issues. We will talk inside the program. Good Morning Salon.
We will continue with the program and we will look at the first issue inside the program this morning. This BNTM, the Member of Parliament for Constituency 005 na Kailaon District, Honorable Alicious B. and Sumana Bindai, after he been sick for long term. Now this make the National Electoral Commission be announced say March this year for be the by-election at this constituency. This may make some people in a constituency 005 na Kailaon District being called on the Salon People's Party leadership for give symbol to somebody who come out from the late Honorable in family, for let them go continue for being Member of Parliament and do the development projects where the late Honorable be done begin. For sake of this, they make the boy picking for the late Honorable Victor Sheku Samuel and Sumana. Don't ask the party for game the symbol for make it continue with the development projects them where in Papa don't do. Producer Alex Lawrence Koma been talked to this late man in boy picking who they ask the party for game symbol and it be explained more. Usai Alex be end up put this report together.
Inside 2018, people in constituency 005 na Kailahun district been vote Honorable Aloysius Ansumana for be the member of parliament. After Honorable Aloysius Ansumana don't be the member of parliament, it for don't pass sick for almost 2 years and it been later die. January 7 this year.
It can take over so that it will continue with the good
form. And they gave it to them called the
in-house clarification of issues raised.
Ordinary session of the African Union. We can't talk about all lengthening in the inside the program this morning. Mr. Sani, with that background, they were don't get to listen to them for let them go get an idea of the things that they can't talk about this morning. Let we first start for talk about His Excellency in your reports where Ibingi before carriage to Usai. Then we end up select them for be the chair for the APRM. Where we come to Salon, within His Excellency been get for talk about or showcase to encompass heads of states them we been getting at the 35th ordinary session of the African Union.
well, thank you very much. And we know say before 2018, we country globally, people let me know for boku things them above which that we now be a state where then it's still giving the call. We say what's on country, people let me know we around the world for corruption and boku thing them. So when His Excellency be the campaign to the people of this country, we say if we vote for him, one go restore international confidence. Na Salon, because remember say before we take over, most financial institutions, IMF, World Bank, they all left this country. But also talk say back part of which it gets for do. And for make sure say it go position Salon in a way also will provide global leadership. So that global leadership, 9 presidents be done start with. So we know say we come, it take over as the coordinator for C10. Now we all know what's in a C10 because C10 now a particular body where the AU be done form, and when they form then they now basically for advocates for make we say global canvas the African common position on the UN security form, and they gave it to them called the Izuini consensus and the SAT declaration. Now basically waiting this they say they tell you say we as Africans we'd already say and we want representation at the Security Council, and I believe say that's something we're very important. And we see we they ask for now that we need 2 additional seats in the category of non-permanent members and 2 seats in the category of permanent members with the same right and privilege. Because the president has always argued, say Africa gets the population, we get everything, so therefore we need a greater voice. So this committee worked on the goal. And then part of which could not present a report and see how we go move forward. But the important thing that what the president don't do now for make sure say he don't try forget all the African countries for understand this is very important because we also on the CC if we can go to UN, you can get the big platform we can tell the UN then say no, we get for do something. Not just for advocates, but also with the get other institutions, them other countries, them across the world from the EPWI. So that's very important because when we broke the news, say president, the new chairperson for APRM, the mechanism and the new form we got for the chair, people then feel say they don't left that position there. Well, I have to clarify for say no, the president hold 2 positions. The one position is still continue to be the coordinator or the chair for the C10, and also this is a new position as well. We now position for make able move. And see how we go put governance at the heart of AU work.
Normally, where the heads of state can get an kind summit here, we wanna just come out. Each president they give something like a report of things them where they happen in country. You just start for talk, you just make mention say before 2018, there be no Salon for things that we get for do corruption and other human rights issues them. In President Bill in your report where it be the give to the African Union. Waiting are some of the things them we go identify to listeners then say now this now be the highlight of in report where it be give.
Well, in this case we will go the president be get not to say be the country report because like I say na chair for the C10. If they give reports on how the C10 don't move, how we don't provide leadership and what they don't do. In fact, even tell and say recently that we go to Uganda where the foreign minister, where I think she don't do excellent job. Because, for make you position the country, make other countries and say credible, for lead any organization or any organ within a continental multilateral framework, force them to say this leader will get is very credible. It's a leader we see, also leader way they do good work now in country. So I think for make you do that one day, you have to get a foreign minister with very seasoned, somebody very respected, but they also believe that one day. So what you do in essence, not even say they present reports about Sierra Leone. What you do have to go present as chair for the C10 for present report on how far the work don't go. What you then go do in Uganda because they go all meeting in Uganda. Who side them they get this consensus for see how they push this FET go before. So now that report they go give and how don't FET so far. But obviously, incidentally, like what you say, we'll come to the APRM. Part of also Salon don't be part of APRM from 2004. We don't see to that. So APRM now a mechanism what them put for good governance. So basically, what they do is they try for CC within the African Union framework. We also they do assessment on how governance they gonna be country. So in fact, then get 4 thematic areas within the APRM what they can look at. They can look at democracy and good governance. They can look at economic governance and management. They can look at corporate governance and look at socio-economic development. So now and again, in fact, last year we get a team we can salon. We can look on how to affect COVID and health governance and in a way they were very impressed with us.
So they can look at the arms them within the APRM, but look at the president being the chairman for APRM. Waiting at the essence and how significant this position they for Salon and Salon people?
Well, very important. In the first place, like I say that the APRM them by 2003, now they established as part of the new Partnership for African Development (NEPAD). Now, this one now a system where every country in the African Union they encourage them. So right now they go over about 41 or 42 countries them we don't sign up to them. Basically, what you do within the African mechanism in the African system, that they're able, peer assess research and see how they do on various aspects of good governance. So I think the importance of this now the fact one, when the South African president Cyril Ramaphosa, because normally with them regional organs then they do according to block representation. So before now be the term for the South. When South Africa be the leader and the Cyril Ramaphosa, His Excellency. Now, when then done, this was the turnout for make the West African bloc make we give somebody for chairs candidate. So when they don't reach at this point, the foreign minister in Nigeria he submits Nigeria as a candidate for takeover, and also your foreign minister Sierra also submits Sierra Leone for takeover. Now, when they go, but they try to see how we as a country, how they do in terms of your assessment. So like I say, one of the things that will be very important and critical, that the fact say in 2021, we get a delegation, we can assess on the health governance structure and how it affects COVID. In fact, I specifically remember say in the words of the ambassador we be lead attendee, it's a president now a shining example of how countries them affect COVID and how good governance they go on. So that particular report at the beginning was very critical. So as they go along, while we also don't submit with candidacy. And then when we get to Addis Ababa on the 5th of February, when I be the Saturday, 94 Minister of Nigeria go meet one foreign minister say, and don't be the candidacy. Right. And then at that point in time, now when Cyril Ramaphosa the give the reports, now submit Salon as the sole candidature for the chairperson. Right. Now, important for one simple reason, because in fact, in the report where they give, them praise Salon, praise President Bio for the work we don't do for good governance.
Would they can look at them work them for good governance and health governance structure and other mechanisms them way the APRM they look at the program now. Good morning, Salon with the country from 98.1 FM and the time now 8 o'clock. If they listen to Yusuf Keke Thomas and the press secretary, will they come back to you? Will they go for a short break?
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy with Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app. You can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody elect you not get bank account, transfer or receive money now the same bank or any other bank, transfer money to person or office elect you not get the account number. buy extra light, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary.
Ask Parliament for someone, the Minister of Trade and Industry, for make you go explain to Member of Parliament and what to make the change them way Parliament be make na the 2022 Finance Act for reduce price pan cement, iron rod, and other thing them not they reflect na the market. This make the Permanent Secretary na the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Augustine Sasheku, say the 2022 Finance Act no go work for business people we don't buy them goods them before government been passed this act. Augustine Sasheku talk this in our interview to the Democracy where he be talk about concern them we come out from business people as he said this, the ministry go engage with different people with the sell. You know, Kabia gets more and he go now report.
The 2022 Finance Act don reduce tax per essential commodity them like cement, iron rod, cooking gas, and other food item them. But from where Parliament passed this act to law, according to some business people, where they do business, say this them they go up.
Is summoned to this house to come and explain to us.
Where they install
good governance, health governance structure. And earlier, my colleague asked you whose report will have been presented, though you say we will not present a report. But if you look at good governance and other issues them we the APRM they look at, what in the government go present to the international community or the African community at large as this are the government's good governance benchmark them nasalo.
Oh no, I don't say we not present a report, Musa. I say they just ask me to present a country report. Now I say no.
I mean,
yes. I say
that's the same thing. The country
present,
reports.
Yes.
Are they refer to reports on Salone specifically?
Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of things we've done in terms of good governance. These are things that we're not isolated. For make you see about over 40 heads of state, 45 heads of state, then select President Bio as chair for lead an organization or an agency within the AU. We got about good governance. I don't see say, now somebody we don't lead by example. There are many things we don't pass MCC. Now we country MCC don't go scorecard. We don't pass another 3 consecutively. Now we do a compact on the MCC. We don't repeal the part of the Public Order Act, where I think say now don't create more space for ownership as journalists there for subject we within a public office in terms of what they do. And also make us serve as a vanguard on behalf of the people of this country. We also don't see USA abolish the death penalty where many countries across the world not do it. It shows say we're very progressive. We also don't see say we are strengthening institutions, building new institutions. For instance, we don't get the new Commission for Peace and National Cohesion with our new institutions. We are doing very well in terms of fighting corruption. The Transparency International Index, we don't go up there. We are, in fact, above many countries them. For instance, like on the corruption index, we are above countries like Kenya, other countries. So we are doing a lot of things them,
Apart from them, things there, so we just don't highlight Mr. Sandy, where according to you, now they make President Bio a better leader, we make the African country then be get this confidence in them for lead the APRM. Let we look at normally organizations them like the AU, where heads of states and can meet up the where 2 countries them can go loggerheads for certain position, backdoor negotiations then can they through the foreign ministers then. At some point, some country then can even go to trade off. Maybe Nigeria get a position when a salon turn. It go say left give this APRM, and where this other position come, you can take them. In this case, behind the scene, waiting really be happen, where country like Nigeria, where West African region they consider as the big brother nation, they step down for Salon.
Well, it shows you 2 things. First, it shows you how credible Nigeria as a country see President Bio in terms of what he do in our country. But also they tell you how the relationship between Nigeria and Salon Day. Because like you say, for 2 countries them then submit them candidatures for a position, then one withdraw. It go tell you say he respect the other country, he respect what the leader of that country they can able to do, So as far as knowledge concerned, there was no trade-off. But I think say over the period of time, like what you don't say, Nigeria has always been a big brother to Salon. I know say before even now, say there are certain position now within the AU where Nigeria be want. In fact, President Buhari specifically, they be send an envoy for can talk to President Bio for say, okay, we want this position, see how you go help we, So over a period of time, since President don't come, relationship with Nigeria has been very, very good. And I think say Nigeria na a big country within the West African bloc, and a country where I think say because of that leadership we don't get most times when we come to things that we in common interest, then you always say they do it. But specifically in terms of what I said earlier, it's also important that this all they happen because we have a foreign minister also very dynamic, a foreign minister also very good in terms of how do you engage your colleagues then.
Then kind position there, na something very rotational. And the West African region then turn now for all this mantle of leadership. And according to you, Salon in Nigeria, now then be the contest for this position. Nigeria stepped down. We mean saying a huge responsibility on the shoulders of His Excellency the President. APRM getting core values, then getting mandates them. How prepare this president bill for take up on this mantle of leadership, not only for represent Salon as a country, but the West African region?
He's very prepared. I mean, for make president the chair sitting, where na a committee very important internationally. I don't do I'm so credibly well, so impressive that me and yourself know say every time President Bill stand na United Nations at that podium for talk, the world they listen. We country small, but you look at the president say, this is a credible man. This is a man where they get respect. Anything we say, now somebody we able to do him. So therefore, it don't show leadership because remember, say within even the C10, you get other big countries then where they within the C10. You get Kenya, you get other countries that within Africa, but you don't able to pull them together. You don't make sure say they focus because remember say where you didn't think they are back, you get for also deal with other countries then. Forget other countries they support, So person be very credible. So they look at them and they say, this person, a person will get potential, person will credible, person will don't demonstrate, say, in leadership way they show that leadership will get integrity. And therefore, me feel say this position we don't get, it's a very unique position. Because like you say, Nigeria is a bigger country. But we as this country, yes, we're small, but we provide global leadership, global voice. So president, even a part of this APRM, now a champion, a voice of Boku in them. For instance, on girls' education, for instance, on human capacity development across the world, many organizations, many countries look and say, this is the president way, ready for moving country go before. So I think say this give you an opportunity for make we continue the credible leadership we president going to show. But then waiting president go one for do now that then go get for make sure say we put mechanism now for send a team we get for go na Addis Ababa for then we go start for see how they get a roadmap will be present in your agenda or to our focus on.
Continue for day with the program. Yusuf Kekotuma Sandy, Press Secretary in the State House. So they take a break, we'll come, we'll continue the program. Good morning, Salon.
Una picking for discharge today, but una not pay the money yet.
Doctor, give me your number. I don't send them.
Alex, I don't give you the number for send hour in fees.
I don't send them.
How much the big bag list?
Na 320,000.
I not get the full cash now.
Na for send them.
Send them? What are the send them we all man they talk about?
You late for your Rio Mary. Send them now go call the Ecopo service. This one fast pass to simple. With the Ecopo, you go send and receive money to anybody, any sign a salon, simple one. The person no need forget bank account or internet. Even if na bought phone you get, it go receive and cash money, easy one. With the Ecopo, you go buy something, any sign a salon, and the person will go buy, go cash them simple one. You go use Ecopo, any side where you see this sticker. With go call bank, mobile banking, just don't easy. Ecopo, send them.
All right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. They look at another issue. Usai on Monday, Radio Democracy be host the acting publicity secretary for the All People's Congress APC party, where na CDI at Tunis. Usai able to talk about the way forward for them party after we them be don't meet na the emergency NAC meeting na McKinney and agree for the PPRC ruling where them be make for sake some objection they remember then them party be make for the new constitution. Well, immediately after that program day, according to the APC party, they say they receive invitation letter from the Criminal Investigation Department, who said they ask CDI attorneys for report yesterday, 11 o'clock, for go clarify things them would then say it make for sake of incitement during the Radio Democracy Good Morning Salon program day. Well, on the line now, we get the National Secretary General for the APC party, winner Ambassador Osman Fode Yansani. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Yeah, good morning, 98.1.
All right, you can first start for clarify if the acting publicity secretary of una party, CDI attorney, still in a police custody na the CID?
CDI attorney still there na police custody na the CID na Freetown.
All right. Yesterday, he been go answer to an invitation where the police been sent to him for go make clarification them. And you as the party secretary general, now one party post people that will be accompanying them. You can first start for give listeners them an overview of what exactly be happened yesterday now the criminal investigation department before CDI attorneys then be detained them.
Well, the day before yesterday, I get a call from the head of the CID, RPG. He say he want like Tunis na CID. I say, what do you do? He say he been talk na radio 98.1 and he make inciting statements. Now so I say, okay, I shall go make sure a report na CID. In the morning, by 11 o'clock, together with the lawyers, CDI Tunis report na CID. Done, the head of CID say, let them take statement from him. The statement take a long time, repeated questions of whether they remove, we say, then they remove this government now through what means? They re-emphasize that. They say through legal means, through lawful means. They make that clear throughout the interview and the interrogation. At the end of the day, I will say what will happen next. Say, well, then we read and ask for opinion. So we did na CID day. That's why there is some scuffle downstairs. Say they don't hold them, then the can go na cell. So, but the senior officers have not been there. The director of crimes not there. The head of CID have not there. I look for some senior members then. I'm not able to see. But now I say, we not allow and let them go. Then go to the cell. And we did it na net because we make some engagement with the government. I talked to the VP, who is the head of the police. I go to the IG office. He was not there. And I asked for the deputy IG because the senior man then say, unless they get directive from above, they're not going to grant and bail. So we did it in a net. He was still in cells. Now we come out there.
Ambassador, you say una be make some engagement yesterday with government, and one party people where you say una be engaged, na be the vice president, where na the head of the police council. You say you talk to them. Where you been talk to them concerning this issue, where gets for do with CDI attorneys in detention. What na be the response of the vice president?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the response from the vice president was that indeed he don't discuss the issue with the IG, but that INSEF not get the recording, this 98.1 recording, so he cannot give any, he don't make any comment until the hearing, and the person will get the recording, he don't send for that. Now, as I say, can I offer you forward the recording to you? Indeed, I did, and he acknowledged receipt. So I've been expecting they will call me back for tell me, say, this is what we will do. But as I talk to you now, I'm on my way to the CID for the next progressive step for ensure that he is released on bail to us.
This action of the police for invite on our acting publicity secretary for make clarification on certain things the way they say it talk na Radio Democracy Good Morning Salon program, and later they be detain am and he sleep na CID. Una as a party where na one pan the opposition party them, how una describe this action of the police?
I think say the action is high-handed. The action is high-handed. The police now one of the institutions that we don't create several minuses for this government. And I think therefore rein them in. You hear what this man say, you know, go through investigation. The investigation starts when the man is in the prison. Where you discover say the man not wrong, then you release him without any compensation, without even a word of we are sorry. This has happened to many of our senior officers. You've been invited, you are invited, you are detained for several days. At the end of it, you go out. And this, you know, they create within the UN, they expect from we, within the partners, and they expect from we for constructive engagement with the government. Yesterday, we were at the UN when they say, last and Syria, Tunis. And I informed them that Syria, Tunis, Dana, CID as they talk, but I can assure them that they will detain him. He will sleep there, and then before they start the investigation. And that is what is happening. A constructive engagement will include 3 stages where this man don't talk. When the government can have power, we ask them, well, they interact. A communique was signed. A committee was set up, headed by the vice president. They did not succeed. Then, among some of the issues, we say then arbitrary arrest there for stop. And the vice president assured us. This is why I called him yesterday. I said, this man, they don't hold him. Una no give him. This is a prominent man. He no go run away. Go to flight risk. He said, okay, go get back to me. But as I talk to you now, he don't say, let's go to CID. And we are going to the CID to see if he can be released. The second level where this man talk about, now, for issue press statements so that people know exactly what in there happened. And that we have been doing. The next progressive step is level 3, which means mobilizing our people to ensure that we win the 2023 election. What is criminal? What is
3 where the APC party continue for the emphasize on, although that same level 3 the way Mr. Tunis talk about, now in the police they investigate now. On a party the APC still believe say on a go implement this level 3 strategy on a be they talk about.
Listen, if we not mobilize with people there, let them understand. Say this is an uncaring government. How you go win election? You want to sit down? We expect for win the election. That is why we're going to mobilize them, ask them to vote for the APC and remove the government. That is what we're saying, and we will say it anywhere. Even if I go to CID now, then hold me back, I'll say it.
All right, thank you very much for that update the way you give we concerning on our party acting publicity secretary CDI Tunis in detention, and he been sleep yesterday na police cell according to the National Secretary General for the APC party. We continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM.
Thomas Sandy, Press Secretary, State House there for talk about the new appointment of the President, Dr. Julius Madabio. Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy, before we go for that interview, we talk about the pillars them of the APRM, we now good governance, also health structures and other democratic tenets them. When you look at the APRM now for foster good governance, for ensure political stability, high economic growth, sustainable development, and also work with other African countries them on then kind issues there. So, but now look at the issue of political stability, my colleague me earlier asked you, say, how prepared the president they for take up this kind of leadership and represent Africa itself, because then can say charity starts at home. Some of them things that as we get for like self-assess yourself. When it comes to political stability, we just they talk to an opposition member. They talk about somebody got arrested because of a statement he make on radio, and you look at another opposition member, we some time back we don't get a bail granted, but still in a Pademba Road when I Kamarimba Mansari. In terms of political stability, what did the president or the government go present as APRM chair to Africa as a whole?
Well, I cannot say boku thing. In the first place, we got political stability. Every country around the world, developed countries, they have their own challenges politically, and then because in the context of obviously this issue about CDI attorneys and the APC, because now criminal investigation, I know we'll comment on them for obvious reasons because myself not a lawyer. But then what me can just say, we all get a lot for play in terms of our democracy. Because while they listen, they talk about say when they come, they always don't say they will interact with the government, but when they provide a platform. But this, we remember being to many conference in this country when we say, okay, let all the political parties then come together. Make we see how we get a framework for make we consolidate peace and national cohesion. APC no attend, So successively, most times we try for outreach to the APC, but for we think that governance has to be inclusive. Everybody, when former President Kuma be there 10 years ago, for almost 11 years, yes, many things happen. I maybe remember when DJ Davey say, well, the last government self, them the old operation people and all that incident. But the important thing also goes to go for now. When they do politics, regardless of whatever you do, we also have to be mindful of what they say, because at the end of the day, I always say this, when it comes to elections, the power lies at the people are for vote out a government or voting a government, But after politics, after elections done, we all for make sure say we contribute towards our global strength in governance, peace, and make sure say we consolidate with democracy.
Then the governments they get out from opposition party then?
Which one then?
We just make sure inclusiveness for consolidate the country in democracy. Now almost 4 years now we Salon come up by election.
So it has been very difficult because I don't even give one example about the Bintumani conference where I think say it was a good opportunity for the political parties and categories, maybe even the APC, make them go there, then go share their ideas, share their views on how we go build the infrastructure of peace in this country. But they don't go. There are many times them back where they invite them for programs them back where then they go. In fact, as recently where we even do the census, we also see what them do. The APC they say them go boycott the census. So the point they make is that at every opportunity when they can get for make we rise up above politics, more concentrate on governance. They look at issues that we would think say, for undermine them process them. So my advice to them is, make them come together. Make them also make sure say we support government. When it comes to election, believe in me, I don't get any doubt say the people of this country don't say this president, na good president, na president with development oriented, who go beat APC.
Now, President Bio just take the leadership of the APRM and we talk about APRM now for bring country them together, talk about inclusiveness in governance, promoting democracy, the rule of law. And when at the chair now, under your own leadership now in country, then kind issues there, so they happen detaining opposition party members and all. You think say this will be like good example for His Excellency the President, because the world they watch, you just hear Ambassador Yansane say they began a meeting yesterday at the UN where he present this case, say the acting publicity secretary under investigation at the criminal investigation department. Well,
of course, law enforcement issues are part of good governance. You understand? Like I say, for obvious reasons, I don't want to comment because na criminal investigation way already don't become instituted, so I don't want to prejudice the outcome, But remember, say for the past 4 years, we have got many good things that we don't do as a government, and I think that part of that we don't see, we president don't do. How, for instance, like I tell you just now, we get institutions that we don't strengthen. So, for instance, even in the fight against corruption, the vice president, they chair this high-level meeting, for put organizations together. So there are many things to do. Earlier, feel say, I think say for push governors go before.
Earlier we start for talk. One of the hallmark of President Bill achievements we talk about the press freedom, but arresting somebody because he can't talk na radio, you not think that they undermine press freedom itself because it they make people keep away from the media, especially the opposition.
No, the question is what you can say. You know, Musa, you don't hear the talk. DJ, you don't hear the talk. One day, an officer, government on somebody can arrest you for can't say what you say. You they subject ministers there, you subject people in a public office them to scrutiny, which is a good thing. Center democracy. So the question is not waiting, not the question not to say you can talk. It's waiting you can talk. You know, but like I say, I don't want for go comment on them because like criminal investigation, I want to prejudice the outcome. The only advice we me the give now for continue for appeal to with friends at the APC. That even in the operation no easy, it's difficult because sometimes when you come for can't talk, you understand, you think okay, 10 years ago, that show me life be there now, my life don't different, So that kind of desperation, that kind of anger, they inside, my advice what they get now that yes, elections they come, but until election come, we all get responsibility for make sure say we strengthen the peace and continue with peace. And what we go do that day for respect leaders the way they in power for now. And also for stop insinuating languages that will go no say go incite people, languages that will also go let people for do the wrong thing.
Yusuf Keke Thomas and they continue for day with you. They go for short break. We'll continue the program. Good morning, Salon.
GhanaSongs.org. They cause some confusion.
But this confused me. Look where Uncle Nat in wall solid. Look him block them with them beach for him, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beach me own. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are they use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement now the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret.
I get for couch this suitcase and this. When I come now, players are in salon, but we
like I said to you, the
one Panillion Stars player them, maybe they talk but the decision where the Salon Football Association being take for ask all the player them we take part in the AFCON tournament which is done at Cameroon for return back the umbrella suitcase them where they begin them before then give them the $1,000 where the Sierra Fisheries company bring it to each player. According to Kai Kamara, he said that decision they not being right where the SLFA been take.
The program na Good Morning Salon, we still get Yusuf Keke Thomas and the press secretary in State House. Therefore, talk about the president's appointment as the PRM chairman Africa. Yusuf Keke Thomas and we don't talk about the areas them way APRM they look at and also how we go reflect to Salon. Now we look at who side the president go starts with disappointments within work at the moment.
Well, waiting one do obviously like I said to you, the APR get 4 thematic areas them, where we don't make mention earlier. Democracy and political governance, economic governance and management, corporate governance and socio-economic development. So because obviously now a new chairperson, who to one try for the start, the foreign minister get for facilitate for make sure say we get a team where they go on African Union for obviously go discuss because say you get APM there, APRM and secretariat, for good discuss and see let we say get your roadmap and let get your what you got for prioritize, what you got for focus on, But I think say the presidents they take up the position with a lot of goodwill from colleagues them, where like I said earlier, they respect them because of the credibility we get and the credible leadership we get for move African agenda forward. And so therefore they will support them because part of APRM also then get what they call the continental level structures. So they get the African peer review forum we get now the heads of states them can meet actually for take decisions. So we're not president for the chair that one day.
Although the president just take up this position, but again, one issue I want to draw your attention to maybe President Bio during the summit, they been get a closed door meeting for engage on this thing. Now the host country of the African Union, not a secret say they get serious conflicts. Now that particular country they were in Ethiopia. Waiting are some of the things them where African leaders then been talk concerning that particular conflict within another country we don't cause unrest for the citizens then.
Well, like what you say, probably that didn't happen in closed door. I was not privy to that day, and obviously, I'm gonna go comment on that day. But because of the African solidarity, you always want for every country want for support each other, when they face their own challenges. Them where we we own war, and we remember say during the ECOMO calm countries then come then send them forces that never can support So I think say at the continental level. All countries go look for show solidarity with the Ethiopian government and the Prime Minister. In fact, get a very fruitful meeting with President Bio. And you can see where people way really journey in terms of leadership when they meet. How did they see how it's kind of match together? You praise President Bio for what he's doing in this country, and in terms of moving forward with development agenda, move forward good governance. And they see in fact they invite President Bio for do a state visit. So then they even tell you, say, even at bilateral level between Ethiopia and Sierra Leone, it don't escalated and also improved that now the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, they invite President Bio for go state visit, So in terms of the war we then did, they were unique as a country, but I think say like every other country, where you you get insurrection or you get issues, because of the solidarity. Continent want to support themselves as well. I think that's important. But there was something again, DJ asked in terms of some of what's important in this country, and for see how you go to showcase in terms of the governance structure. And we also see part of what president don't do as well. Now for make sure we get a government very inclusive.
All right, we go come talk about Sandy, Mr. Sandy, well. The producer, they make sense. It's time for law to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about inclusive governance.
Banking business.
Because most of what's in president they take.
Follow the up.
All right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get the press sector in a state house when I Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy. We did talk about the African Union Summit where President Biogis Komo Osai country them in Africa being selected for be the new chair for the APRM. Mr. Sandy, earlier before we go for that break, you may try for talk about inclusive governance with President Bio and governments on the practice.
Yes, Dija. No, I just want to also say, at government level as well, even in terms of the appointments, what they do, President they take, affirmative action for make sure say we get people in governance way go show say we inclusive. So I just make mention recently where we appoint the Honorable Alaji Alpha Khan as resident minister cabinet rank for the Northwest. Then they show you say we get a president we believe say as long as you dare a citizen, you believe in the development of this country, regardless of the political party where you dare, regardless of who you born, regardless of which language they speak, we always open for make it get people to come on board.
Since
go forward.
Alpha Khan in appointment as they make them as an inclusiveness. Somebody go argue say one appointment you the tag them as an inclusiveness.
Well, it's symbolic because Alpha Khan not just ordinary Alpha Khan. Alpha Khan has been former minister under the APC party, APC government. Alpha Khan, now somebody will go at a very high level within the APC. So for me, the fact say you see president, you don't say, this man, you understand, he can still contribute to national development, make him bring him on board. It tells you say, because most of what's in the section of the APC, we don't say we don't come, we don't try for engage, don't try for see, and then we as a government, not the outreach to them, not the open to them, So we get examples that will show say, as a government,
you use Honorable Alpha Khan in appointment as an example for showcase President Bio, a president with the practice inclusivity in terms of governance. President Bio just appoint Honorable Alpha Khan.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost the fourth year of His Excellency in governance. Why be don't do him? If really you want for showcase, it bring everybody on board for let them work together and develop Salon.
Well, I mean, president gets 5 years term when we get our votes for them. Within that 5 years, we expect say it go take actions there we go consolidate to country, action that we go make we develop the country, action that we go show say we inclusive, So whether president be doing The first day we come, you do one today, you do one the last day before go to elections. What they show you? They show you say that as president, you understand, is very progressive, is very inclusive, you understand, regardless of the timing. Because remember, say when you kind of government, but couldn't happen. It's a transition period.
That appointment, was it strategic or not just a way, according to what you say, for His Excellency the President showcase to the world, say yes, why be a president, why take up governance, I bring other members then even from the opposition for work with them, or not just a political strategy?
Well, president in the first place, before it's president, a politician. But over and beyond that, I think say waiting the appointment show two things. Firstly, that regardless of whichever political party you dey, regardless of who you born, what you believe in, as long as you know somebody will believe in president, in leadership, what you don't do, it will always give an opportunity to serve. That is firstly. But also it demonstrates very clearly say that as president, you don't ever get any agenda against APC or a political party or people within the APC. You understand, eh? Because then they show you say now somebody way he can able outreach, he can able look at other people who get values, people who able add value to the governance and push them forward. If I remember, say the very first they will come, what do we do? The running mates will begin at ADP. We now don't make deputy minister at trade. You understand? Immediately now we make a resident minister at Northwest. This was the very first time we come. So it tells you say we can able point to examples that within the party way, within the government the president do from where he come to where they now. And I think say there are opportunities there for people in back way, you know, the political party we want to serve. You understand? We believe in the president. You always get opportunity to serve. Always make you always say is that even if you can have other political party, politics and governance will be constructive. We're not there against people for criticize president or criticize government, but just be constructive. Because at the end of the day, 5 years for a country, 10 years are long years.
Any plan for President Bio for invite some of his strong critique them, if really want for practice inclusive governance, people away they don't come out, don't they speak on issues who then feel say wrong by His Excellency?
Well, President Bio always respect the views of critics then, as long as they are constructive. What's obviously democracy go frown at or government go frown at. Now, if you can't radio or you do something, you write something, you are disrespectful, you put the office into disrepute, you beneath them, personally they attack, I think that's in the way, even at democratic level, that's in the way they undermine democracy. But the president, you always know, say, now somebody way, if you can elect people yourself way, very constructive. What you criticize and tell and say, okay, now this you do. Now this we don't do. You go look at them and say, okay, because at the end of the day, make you always say one thing. Nobody not get monopoly over wisdom or for one country. There are people in other political parties where you go get ideas. So if you have your ideas on the political parties, let's put the country above we political parties them. Come on board, support the president. Because at the end of the day, even at A level, let's say this is a president's way, a good for Africa, a good for Salon, and I think say we're moving country forward.
A good for Africa, a good for Salon. My colleague Ali Abin, they ask about the issue na Ethiopia, we na the unrest. But away from that, looking at the African continent and the trend of recent, especially in West Africa, na the issue of coup. We see one na Mali, and we see one na Burkina Faso and Guinea, and also attempt in Guinea-Bissau. President's been the chairperson for APRM. What's your intake on these coups in Africa, especially West Africa?
Well, I think firstly is how we strengthen governance infrastructure. But also more importantly, now the fact say the president is very clear that we need for restore constitutional order. Because democracy now the watchword for development, democracy now the light for make you put country together. And anybody who want for take power, you get to take power through a constitutional means from the people, and then you take power. So in the first place, president always don't believe say whosoever could we definitely get information with a constitutional order. But then as chair of APRM, what it gets for this, make you say, how do we strengthen the governance infrastructure? What in the make could happen in the first place? Now countries them, what are the challenges? How do we make sure we address those issues in the country using the means by which we will make sure say we strengthen governance pictures? So for instance, I'll give example. One of the things that we always talk about now for make countries them leaders they respect the constitutional term limits. So, for instance, if not 2 term, now they say for one 2 term, because those are the things that when they trigger, you understand problems in the countries.
When you talk about governments or when you talk about the states, one thing they could tell you about now the sovereignty of each and every member state, and talking about ensuring that they ensure give strength to democracy and good governance now member countries. Them as APRM chair, what are the power where it gets for do that?
Well, APRM gets continental level structure, national level structure. So at continental level, like I say, you get the forum, the way other heads of things they go. Because remember, say APRM is almost like a mirror. Usai una decidom among una safe as peers. And then una look and assess una self, say, okay, me on country, me on level, now this and this they happen. And then when APRM then go like country, they also they make recommendations on how you for improve governance, on how you for improve the structures the way they, for instance, whether it's about health, it's about the economy. How would they look with yourself and say, okay, this and this don't happen in a country, but also there are improvements to make and this. And I think that platform they give the heads of states them at their own level for make there is frankness, there is openness, so make them discuss things they think say they affect democracy them. But it's good because this now Africa, they use an African instrument for address problems within our countries and regions.
Now 2 years that president being tenure as chair
yes,
for
not
the
2 years.
APRM.
Yes, teacher.
Now quickly, what's in the approach where presidents will get for use for address conflicts na country them where they na the region or conflicts where already they exist na some of them country there. So Musa just asked you about the coups there where they happen na some West African country them. What's in the approach where the excellency get for use for address some of the issues there?
Well, I can say it just on chair. So we two want to for do first, one try for put a team together. We get for go engage with the APRM, the secretariats now Addis Ababa, and also try for see how go put a plan together for see how they approach. But I think the 2 important things are that firstly, we get to make sure say on we support the security apparatus in our countries them. So I think a good thing that they I think say now something president go I think go strongly consider, but also for make we able respect democratic institutions, how go strengthen governance institutions in our countries them. Because for instance, like I always mention back to Salon, if you want to fight corruption, the president not just stop at low get anti-corruption commission. We also get high-level panel and meeting with the vice president in chair for put together all stakeholders, then see how we get to make sure say issues of financial issues in our public service, we address them, So there are many innovative ways. So for even Salon, now we don't get the Commission for Peace and National Cohesion. How do we make sure we strengthen? So many of the good things that we don't practice now, I think that we president will able to share with other countries then for them institutional and continent for more move forward. But the important thing that this, that we all for be happy. Now, even we break the news, we see with president at APC that they say a lie like this,
Thank you very
all
much.
One and they no matter just end with this. I think it's important. All one and they I think we for be happy for we safe as a country. Now, just like you, DJ, you go, you take award on the other side, because you're not saying I'm happy for you, So sometimes for the rise above with party politics, when it comes to country at continental level, now be happy for president. After 5 years, we don't go to the pool, we go play politics. But for now, we will congratulate her, we're happy for her, I wish her well for make sure say the APRM take her to a different level.
Thank you very much, Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy, Press Secretary from State House. He be there with the program this morning. They give update on the 35th ordinary session of the African Union, where President Biogis Komo and country then be select him for be the chair for the APRM for the next 2 years. Now they end the program Good Morning Salon for Tilion edition. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Coleman and then produce the program. DJ Ahmad give technical support.
Well, this not a great movement. Now you on platform, now me on platform, everybody on platform. You be don't view we a lot, you dey share a lot, but you don't forget to subscribe. We are for touch that notification button. This red one with this issue. Then you say will be part of the program. Whenever we do live, you will also get a notification. Do ya subscribe to me? Do ya subscribe to me? And don't forget to subscribe. This is not a program. This is not a great movement. TGM TV. Where we do to give the good info for you, for me, brother and sister from our side. Me na una baba Dima, the Esther. We are touch that red button.